Hey everyone, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to do X Club and skin on skin style trance techno. To go along this video, you can grab this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets, everything that you heard in the intro of this video is available at the top of the description on my website. Definitely go grab that. It's a great thing you can do right now to make the best music of your life today. I promise when you grab this, it's going to be like night and day for you. You can also check out my lessons, track finishing service, and ghost production service. Link for that's at the top of the description as well. Definitely go check that out. Thanks for the support, everybody, and let's dive in. Alright, so we're at 140 BPM. And the first thing we got up here is this big fat 909 kick. Now, with this one, there's a little bit of processing to it. I tuned it. You can see I pitched it up +1. I also made it a bit shorter. Because see how it's like by default, it's like this boom, boom, kind of longer 909. And that was clashing with the bass, so I just made it really short. And then those work together. And then I also added a little drum bus. I don't like to do this on kicks that much these days. But what you can do is make like a slightly heavy thing like this, where it's like boosting the transient. You know, it's a bit of drive. It's on medium, so it is pushing it. But it's only 26%. So it's literally just like without it. It's just that little push. Then we got the bass line. So this is really like the chord progression of this track, right? This is definitely one of those ones, you know, where you don't have much of a chord progression happening. Other than this, right? So it's got to really like define that for this track. So what we're doing here is we're in the key of G minor, right? We're going root note down to 6th, which is like a very epic transition, as you can see. Then it goes up to this minor 3rd here, which you can hear, you know, interacts well with those voices. Then it goes up to the 4th, which if I put that up, you can see that's really close to that minor 3rd. But then when you put it down an octave, it makes it less obvious, but it's still harmonically that like catchy, right? And then it just repeats the pattern. For the actual sound, it's this big respace I made with wavetable. So we've got the sub oscillator, we got a saw wave, and then we've got this modern sweep. So this is giving us a little bit more flavor. Like if I get rid of it, you can see it's missing some texture. All this is basically a saw wave, as you can see, but it's just got a little bit of a different feel to it. And I've got that up an octave as well. And we got a low pass filter, right? Some noise unison, a subcut. Which with these tracks, especially since they're a little faster, you know, cutting the sub on this bass is definitely pretty essential. And then we've got this being sidechain to that sidechain up there. Then we have this pad. So what's happening is it's following the same low notes, right, as the bass line I just showed you. But then I kind of added these melody notes up top. And some of them are pretty obvious. Like in this case, in this first chord is just a G minor, right? You know, but then it goes up here. And okay, so we got that D sharp. And then we have a G and another D sharp up here, right? So it's just basically notes from the scale. Adding some nice musical texture to that. Now, for the actual sound on this one, it's very simple in wavetable. We got a saw wave, a bunch of unison, and a little bit of a low pass filter. What makes it interesting is this gate right here. We're doing a trance gate. And the way we're doing this is we're side chaining to a gate, which is the opposite of side chaining to a compressor, right? Side chaining with a compressor makes it duck out of the way when the side chain plays. In this case, it makes it play only when the sidechain plays. So what you do is you make a track down here, which is like this operator, which is literally just white noise with no release. And that's going to play the rhythm, right? And then when you sidechain into the gate, you got to turn the return down, turn the floor down as well. And even the release, you can see if you bring that down, can help too. And then you just set the threshold and you get that trance gate. Then we got a little bit of delay, which goes well with the trance gate, and then a high pass filter. Then we have this second pad with analog. So this is a pad. It's not playing the chord progression though. Obviously, it's very much playing like its own sort of like chord melody. Like it's just basically G minor scale notes, right? As long as you're following that scale that the track is in, you can't really go wrong, but it's not exactly following what that main chord progression is. So what we're doing here is basically I've got this A sharp minor or A sharp major, right? Which is technically like would be the minor third, right? In that G minor chord. And it's like playing with voices that work well with that. Like you're going, you know, those are just a half step apart. Or a semitone apart. Same deal there. That's the fifth to the sixth back down to the fifth. So it's really just like simple music theory if you actually look at it. But as long as you're following that scale, you can't go wrong. For the actual sound, it's made with analog. We've got 2 saw waves here. We got a low pass filter with an envelope on it, making it nice and like kind of closed like that. We got a bit of unison, some chorus and reverb, sidechain, and then just a high pass filter. Then we have this ARP. So yeah, this is playing this actually pretty simple ARP in G minor. Again, this is another one where it's just like, as long as you're following that scale, you can really not go wrong with this. It's just keeping it really simple. Like it's only a few notes at a time, right? And it'll be like one note that changes at a time. Like here, we just take the top note up and it's following the same rhythm. So it still feels very familiar. Right, and then it's like down here, we stick to those root notes. So it's really like holding on the root notes and then changing the top note. For the actual sounds made with operator, we've got a sine wave here with a bit of FM from another sine wave with this kind of like plucky envelope. You can see we got the chorus pitch up to 4 on that one and it's detuned a bit. Bit of chorus, echo, reverb, right? Some drum bus, which is only at 21%, so you're not getting that much of it. But it does add a bit of flavor, especially with this kind of stuff. This kind of a lead, right? Which is very popular in these tracks, by the way. A lot of people are using this. You want it to have a little bit more flavor and edge to it. You know, just dry. But you don't want too much distortion or saturation on it. And then we've got that sidechained. Then we have the drums. Now you'll notice there's not actually that many drums, right? Because there's obviously so much happening in these synths, especially when you have like the trans-gated synth. It's like you don't even need a whole lot of drums. Like too much under this would really get in the way. So it starts here with a nice open hi-hat. 909 clap, right, just going nicely with that low end and really grooving over it. When you make a track like this, you really want to start, like the 4 elements I'm playing right now, the kick, the bass, the main hi-hat, and the clap, those should be grooving before you do anything else. But yeah, and then there's this little 606. Using that for some hi-hats because we can use the different hi-hats in there. And I've got it sidechained a little. And then we have a 909 ride. Just dancing in the background. We got that high pass, and then we've also got a little sidechain on that. And then on the group of drums, a little bit of drum bus and a bit of a high pass. So here's with no effects. And then with them. So the drum bus is being blended, right? It's mostly dry. But it's at 39%, which is pretty heavy, and you hear it for sure. You know, it just kind of gives it that slightly more crunchy, kind of ravey feel to it. Like when it comes to trance techno, I think these drums are meant to be a little bit more crunchy than like the DJ Heartstring drums or something like that. So we got that at 39%. Then we just have a high pass filter. because that definitely adds a lot of low end to it. And there we are. So that's going to be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. And let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets. The entire template is available at the top of the description on my website. Don't miss out, guys, while it's available. It's a really great template at an extremely accessible price. One of the best on the market for this style. It's going to help you take your tracks to the next level today. I promise. I know a lot of you guys are struggling with this style. Grab this template and you will really get where you're trying to get. Don't miss out, guys. You won't regret it. Link is at the top of the description. Thanks for the support, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow with another video.